record. All right, I don't think it's going to be super long this week because I have hardly played anything because I've had a really busy week with work as well. It's just that time of year, I think, as well, with the summer, and I've been busy all weekend. Haven't been at home at all, so crazy busy times, mate. I think for all of us, which I think a couple of week break after this week's episode would do us a world of good.
I'll actually have something interesting to talk about next week, though, possibly.
You never know, right? Just maybe we will. Okay, are you guys both ready to rock and roll?
Same order as usual, is fine.
Good times, mate. Good times. It's like episode 134 now. Episode 134. Yeah. Okay, you ready? You ready, Nick?
Yep.
Okay. And a 3, and a 2, and a 1. Hello, and welcome to 360 Gamercast, episode 134 for Tuesday, the 23rd of August, 2022. I'm your host, Mark Webb, gamertag, Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby360G, and joining me on this very fine evening is...
I'm not typing up my podcast notes right now, Nick Fights.
Notes?
I always make notes. I forget, I can't remember things. How do you expect me to remember things?
I have notes on a Google Sheet that I've been using for over 10 years. I just change it every week. I did share it with the rest of the podcast crew, but no one else seems to want to use it apart from me. That's the only person who does use it is actually Sly. So when I had Sly on last week, he was editing the sheet, so that was good because I actually knew what he was what he was going to talk about, and it was actually quite helpful. So yeah, that was quite good. Anyway, if you're watching live on Twitch, you might notice my face is a little bit red. I've been outside all day today at Santa Pod Raceway watching monster trucks, squash cars and caravans and things, and I got a little bit sunburned. Nice. Yeah, so yeah, that's why I'm a little bit red. It'll be gone tomorrow. I'll go a bit brown, but it just happens when my pasty skin is in the sunlight all day long. So that's the reason for that. It was actually
quite cloudy down this part of the country.
Well, the sun was out a lot, but even through the clouds, the sun was beaming through the clouds and stuff. You know what I mean? You're still going to get a little bit burnt and stuff. So, but yeah, my little boy enjoyed the monster trucks, so that was good. And we watched the drag racing as well on the other side of the track, so that was cool. So it was a really good day today. I'm just absolutely knackered now. Got home and I was just like, oh, I actually had a little nap before the podcast. I just laid in bed, just leave me alone, just for about 45 minutes just to try and get some energy. So here I am again now. So all is good. But yeah, I've been busy all this weekend. I haven't done any gaming all weekend at all. Was in London yesterday at Kew Gardens all day. Didn't get home till really late. Got home about 9:30 at night, and then my wife's nephew wanted to watch the boxing, so we watched the boxing last night as well, and that didn't finish till must have been around 12:30, I think, around that time. So yeah, a bit of a late night and up early today, so it's been a bit of a hectic weekend, to be honest. So, and then my whole week, because work's just been kicking my balls, as I think it has for you two as well. I haven't really done a hell of a lot of gaming anyway. So I've done a little, but not what I've wanted to do. I've not had my Final Fantasy 14 time this week really at all, which has been a little bit annoying because I was working my way at getting of doing me dailies just to get my currency to get my better gear, but alas, I've not been able to do that this week, so that's been a little bit frustrating.
The new content drops on Tuesday, the new patch.
Oh nice, so that's good.
Will bring with it brand new tone gear as well.
Ooh.
Which means you will probably find
there'll be new tomes to get.
Well, they usually lower the price of the previous Tone Gear stuff and obviously
right.
knock it down the Tone tier.
Oh, okay.
So you might find you were able to buy a couple of pieces of that anyway, and obviously work on some new stuff. But
Yeah,
the new story drops, new raid drops, the weird kind of Pokemon Island thing, the Getaway Sanctuary Island
yeah.
Sanctuary. Where you sort of take
Nice.
your minions and go and sort of do farming and stuff. It's going to be weird to see how that actually works.
Yeah, no, sounds good. No, I'm looking forward to that. So, I'll try and get into that a little bit next week if I can. Obviously, F1 Manager 2022 is out next week, and I've got a lot of work I need to do though. So, I mean, the main reason for taking this few weeks off podcasting for me personally is that I've got a lot of personal work to do. So there's not going to be a lot of time for gaming anyway. So I need to crack on with that. So yeah, I'm not really going to be gaming much, and I'm going to be just quite busy. So I'll just try not to have many distractions, if that makes sense. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'm guessing we'll just kick it off then. I mean, I've been chatting away for a while, so we'll get to Nick now then. Nick, give us something that you've been playing for the last week.
Yeah, I've been playing this quite a bit since, not yesterday, but last Saturday, and quite a lot at night time in some other streamers' chats, because I saw it and it had Resident Evil characters on sale, so I'm like, ooh, I must buy this because I've never played it. That's Dead by Daylight.
Oh yeah.
Right. I thought you was going to say Fortnite because there's a couple of Resident Evil characters in Fortnite as well.
Well, that's why I started playing Fortnite. Fortnite might come back later, but
oh my goodness.
Don't start. You love it. You're in there.
I know why the Fortnite will come back later if it's PFP.
Yeah, you know what it is, don't you? But yeah, I was playing this because, like I said, I think that was on offer. I think it was like 12 quid or something like that. And then I found out it was on Game Pass anyway. So I was like,
oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, but this was like with the Resident Evil characters. So I was like, screw it. But yeah, I was playing with another Twitch streamer I've known pretty much ever since I've been streaming. Lady Reaper, another British girl. And yes, we were playing like in my chat with loads of people and stuff like that last week for about 3 or 4 hours, and then pretty much another 2-3 nights until about 10-11 o'clock at night every night.
Nice.
Basically getting shouted at because I'm not doing it properly.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, I don't really know what I was supposed to do. I was like, I don't read instructions. I played games all my life. I don't read instructions. I was like, I haven't got a clue what I'm supposed to do. But I don't know. Have you two played it though?
No, I know it's quite old now. It's quite old now, isn't it? It's about 5 years old, isn't it?
It keeps getting content drops even now.
Yeah, I think it was in like beta for a few years and then went and come out, I say 2018 officially, but I think it was 2016 when they first brought it out, like the beta version. So yeah, it's good.
It has to be the most popular version of that game type. Because
what is it? You got to survive or something? Is it like this?
It's like Friday the 13th and like the Evil Dead kind of game that came out recently. They're all very similar, aren't they? Like one person plays as the sort of villain, and you've got to go out and kill the people playing as the survivors.
It's simple, but it's quite hard because they keep changing. I mean, it is actually a very hard game. You've got to be good at it, and I suppose there's a lot of good people. Basically, we were playing as 4 survivors, the people, and the whole idea is you land in a map, somewhere, and there's quite a few maps. There's even a Resident Evil, RPD, the police station as well, and outside. No one likes that one apparently, but I like it because I know my way around, so that's great. I know where it all is, but it's very simple. Basically, you've got generators around the map. You have to fire these generators up. I think there's 7, but you have to fire up 5 to get them working. Then open a door, and then you go over to the door, to turn the power on to the door, and then you open the door, and then you escape.
Right. Oh, okay.
And then it's up to the bad guy, who's also So you could play as a survivor or as the villain, and there's loads of them. There's like Michael Myers, there's Freddy Krueger, loads of stuff like that. There's even got Nemesis, who obviously I played as, but they're all slightly different, skills. Some are faster but don't hit as hard. Some are hit really hard but are really slow. Things like that. I mean, generally the monsters are faster than people, but I mean, it's actually quite difficult to get the generators to go, or at least I thought it was, because maybe my reaction times aren't great. Basically, you have to hold like one of the bumper buttons.
Yeah.
And then she's like repairing it or whatever, pulling wires out. Then all of a sudden, like a quick time event comes up, like like a spinny wheel. And the only problem is sometimes, and I'm going to blame the game because it's not me. Sometimes where it starts, I just think you couldn't press that button quick enough. See what I mean? Because it spins round in a circle, and you've got to stop it in the middle of where it wants you to stop it, or basically the generator explodes because you've done it wrong. Then if it explodes, it then shows up on the map for the monster, so then he knows where you are. Then he can come for you.
Okay. So how many players online is this then?
5. That you can have 4 survivors and one of the killers. But then you could play 5, then take it in turns to be the killer. But then you don't get any blood points and stuff like that to spend and upgrade your characters and stuff like that.
Right. Okay.
All 5 of you play, because if not, you just like basically cheat the game to get loads of stuff. But it's just so much fun. I actually won a game and I didn't know I'd won.
Oh right.
Because like I said, I don't do tutorials and stuff like that. I've played games for years, and then I realised, I probably should have done the tutorial and read the thing to tell you what to do. But basically, everyone, look, when the monster gets you, he can't just kill you instantly. He knocks you down, and he picks you up over your shoulder, and then he hooks you onto a hook through your back or something. And basically, if you get hooked 3 times, you die.
Well, that's instant. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second time, you have to press a quick time event to stop. Basically, there's like these weird sort of like Stranger Things, like spiky monster things that want to stab you, like big spider legs. So you have to like press that. But there's a lot of tactics involved. You're like, oh well, if 2 of you do the generators, the other person like keep the monster, like out the way and stuff like that. And basically, once he chases you, it's like, oh, it's on now, and you're running away, like dodging in between stuff. And there's basically the only things you can really do is some places there's like a wooden pallet sort of stuck in places, and if you get the timing right, you could just like push the button, and he basically throws the pallet in front of him that gives you enough time, only just enough time to escape.
Right. Oh, okay.
But then you just get really excited because I kept doing it wrong. I was putting the pallet down, but I was on the wrong side of the pallet. Instead of stopping him from getting me, I just blocked myself off, and then he got me anyway. I was just getting told off. And because I was trying to do the generators and couldn't do it, so lady was like, Nick, stop doing the generators and just unhook me. I was like, all right then. Just get told off. But then once everyone's dead apart from the last person, basically escape hatch opens somewhere on the map. I was like, which I didn't know that. And basically, if you escape into the hatch, and you win, your team wins. But if the monster finds it and closes it, then you've basically got a timer at the top that sort of counts down. Well, it doesn't count down, but it's like a bar that counts down with like a energy bar at the top. And if it gets all the way down, then basically he wins because he kills you.
Right, okay.
And stuff like that. So it's interesting. But like once I was playing, they're like, oh, well, it's down to you then, Nick. I was like, well, I've only played for like half an hour. And then I was like, what's this little hatch thing? And I just jumped in it, and then everyone just started screaming and cheering because
that's pretty awesome.
So I didn't know. I just jumped in a hole. That's all I did. But these games, I mean, graphics are okay, the gameplay's okay. There's a lot of tactics involved for like the really good players and stuff like that. Plus, you have to upgrade stuff because I bought obviously Jill, Valentine, and Leon.
Yeah.
And I was told, oh, you're not allowed to use that because I've got to use another character level her up to get her perks, because it's kind of like Call of Duty, but each character has different types of perks depending on how you want to play. So like another perk could make it so you can heal them faster, or you sprint a little bit after, and things like that. So I've got to play as this other character to get to level 50, so I get the perk I need, but then I can use that on any character.
Right. Oh, okay.
See what I mean? So if you max out that character, you get all the perks, and then you can use them for everyone.
Right. Oh, that's pretty good.
The monster gets perks as well.
Ah.
So it's just fun, playing in voice chat. Like all these games are more fun when you're playing with people. I mean,
yeah, they are.
If you play really crap games, if you're playing with your mates and having a laugh, that's where the fun is.
Yeah. Cool.
So I've been playing that a lot the last week.
Oh yeah, looks good. Someone I would love to check out actually.
So many different. So there's probably about 12 or more different sort of like theme content packs for that game with like different mythical monsters or still monsters. I think there's a Halloween one and a Stranger Things and Japanese mythology.
Emmy Gorgon or whatever it's called. That
Silent Hill. Yeah.
Silent Hill is there, and Nemesis, but they announced a trailer as well, which is why I looked on Wesker's coming to it as well.
Oh, nice.
With Rebecca Chambers and Ada Wong.
Oh, nice.
Obviously,
that's pretty cool.
If it's got Resident Evil in it, I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, I know what you're like. Fanboy. Ultimate fanboy.
You play anything with Final Fantasy in it?
Not everything.
Those things. Like that horrible PS2 game with Vincent in it.
What's that one I didn't play? Is it Dissidia? I won't play that. That fighting one.
I got
shit.
It's a kind of fighting style in a fighting game. I'm not a fan of. Not enough hand.
Those games, but there's nothing. From what I could see, there's no story to it at all.
No. I did. Just talking about Final Fantasy though. I might as well just talk about it very quickly now. I've put a emulator, RetroArch, onto both my Xboxes now, so my Series X and my Series S, and it works really well. So you can put RetroArch on there now. If you know where to go, the instructions are in our Discord group. So I've been playing some retro games on there. PS1, PS2, Dreamcast, Mega Drive and Super Nintendo, and arcade games as well. And one of them that I was playing on there is a PS1 game called Urgex, which is a Final Fantasy fighting game. Which is absolutely dog shit, but
I actually quite liked it at the time.
I remember owning that on the PS1 back in the day, and then I didn't really like it then, and then I sold it, and I wish I kept it because it's actually worth quite a bit of money now. But I thought I'd just download the ROM for that and give it a go, and I was just like, no. But nice to relive some of those beautiful memories. So
how does that work, putting that RetroArch on your Xbox? Is it like an app on your Xbox, or does it like flash the whole system?
No. So basically, it's like you like you download your other apps onto your Xbox, like Netflix and Disney and all that bullshit. It's basically just an app like that. It's RetroArch, but you can't download it. You can't search for it on the store. So that you go to a web link using the Edge browser on your Xbox, and then it just downloads it, like kind of through the Microsoft Store, and then once it's on your Xbox, it's there. And then takes about 5 minutes to set it up, but you have to have the ROMs on a memory stick, and then it reads them off the memory stick, and you play them through that. But yeah, it's so easy to do, man.
Yeah, I hacked my PS1 Mini or the PS1 Mini console with that on there, and that's the same sort of thing, really.
Yeah, but... I mean, for me, it's more of just getting it to work and seeing what it's like, because I've got an emulator on my PC with thousands of games sitting on there anyway. But whenever things like this come out on consoles, I just want to try it out and see how good it works, because in my mind I'm like, well, if I can get this to work, then I can just play it on the telly downstairs, and it works really well. Even because I've done it on my Series S and my X, and everything runs well on my Series S, like absolutely perfect, like everything I've tried so far. So I'm really impressed with it, to be honest. Yeah, I'm yet to try Saturn games on it, but there is a Saturn emulator on there as well. But
Yeah,
as I
they're
say,
getting a bit better. That's just
yeah,
been one of the hardest things to
it has
emulate,
been.
hasn't it, for
Yeah,
years? But
yeah, but Dreamcast, like I tried out like Crazy Taxi, runs absolutely perfect, and Skies of Arcadia, and even like there's some of the kind of MAME ROMs I've got, and they worked fine as well. So, I mean, if you don't have a PC and you want to play like retro games and stuff, it's well worth a go because obviously you can play all the PlayStation classics on there as well. So, it's just really really cool if you know where to get
the
the ROMs from.
PS1 games work really well on that.
Oh yeah, they really do, 100%. So
Some of the, like I said, the Saturn always been a bit iffy. Maybe because I sort of used my PS1 Classic and anything. I think I tried the PSP games. Some of those were a bit
yeah,
iffy as well, especially
yeah.
the faster ones like Burnout, the
hmm
driving games and stuff like that. But that might be because my PS1 Classic's just not powerful enough.
No, it probably. I mean, like the PSP games. I mean, I've got an emulator on my PC. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head now, but um, I tried Crisis Core on that, and that runs fine. But now I'm kind of like, well, there's no point of playing it because obviously the remake/remasters out this year anyway. So
Fingers crossed.
yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, I love emulation just because one, there's a lot of games that you just can't get anymore, and that's the only way that you're going to play those classic games. And number two is if those games are available, you're going to be buying them off some money grabbing reseller on eBay for like £200 plus a lot of these games. And if you just want to play the game, so that's a lot of money. So, and that money isn't going to the developers and publishers anyway. So I don't see any problem with just acquiring the ROMs online.
Yeah, I mean, I pay someone to print mine off in
Yeah,
discs because I'm that lazy. But
yeah,
like that's what I do. I got some more Dreamcast games and Saturn games this week, and yeah, they were like £8 each, and just plug them in and they play. Like, so one
yeah.
of them I
That's
got
nothing.
Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. I
Yeah,
thought, oh, I want that one.
Quality.
And like the cheapest version on eBay is like 140 quid, and I'm like,
that's insane, isn't it?
no. And then some other games I bought, which so even rare. Some of them like, was it JoJo's Bizarre Adventure
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah,
had
or
that
the fighting
Japanese
game?
copy.
They
Yeah,
were
on the
400
Dreamcast. Yeah.
quid. I'm like, no,
Oh,
I'm not paying it. I just don't see the point.
no.
It's not like I'm gonna, I want to play it. I don't want to put it on a shelf and hope that it's going to be worth more money in years to come. I want to play them.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, all this retro game collecting has just got the regular gamers just been priced out now. So the only way that you're going to be able to play those games is through emulation. And as I say, I don't see any issue with that.
I'm
So
just surprised so many of the big companies haven't bought out someone like RetroArch or something and just like use that to make their, because all these, like, you get Digital Foundry testing a lot of this, like PlayStation, the streaming one and stuff like that, and they're saying the emulation on it is terrible, really badly made, and it's just like, I just think a lot of these companies just don't want you to have the old stuff because they, in fear, it'll stop you buying the new stuff.
I
Not
don't know,
realising
mate.
people like to flip. And to be honest, a lot of the older stuff is more pick up and play games. They're not
Yeah,
these long, epic, sort of 40+ hour types that we get now.
yeah, completely agree. And that's why arcade games will always be really good just for that. I've got 20 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. I'll just play a quick boss on this, job done. I'm happy. So, anyway, Darren, let's go on to you, mate, because
Well, I'll just get one out of the way, which is the same thing. DNF Duel, again. It's just pick up and play fighting game.
oh yeah, anything else you want to say on it?
Well, I've spoken about it for like pretty much the last month since it came out, sort of dipping in and out of it for a bit each week.
Well, it's nice to know you're still playing it and still enjoying it, though. Cause,
good presentation and everything. There was an update for it the other day. I haven't checked it out since then. I don't think. Doesn't seem to be any new characters coming for it, even though I think there are a lot they could do, considering it's based on a class-based sort of like side-scrolling Korean sort of MMO kind of game.
Yeah. Oh, nice, mate. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it still, anyway. All good. Okay. Well, I think I just want to get this out of the way, actually, as I checked this out the other day. So I've been playing. Oh, well, there's a new game that just come out on mobile phone and PC. Tower of Fantasy. So basically, it's been compared heavily to Genshin Impact, and I can see why. I'm actually someone that really enjoys Genshin Impact, thinks it's a beautiful game. Never finished it, though, because it's so freaking long. But it's got a very beautiful art style. But, you know, there's a lot of it's very similar to Zelda, if you've never played it. Breath of the Wild, where you can have an energy bar to climb walls, and you've got a glider and all that sort of stuff. So this new game called Tower of Fantasy has only just come out this week. I think it's been in beta for a while, but it's actually just come out on PC, so I thought I'd download it. I only played it for a couple of hours, but I can see there are definitely similarities between two games. But the biggest difference is, though, at the beginning of the game, there's quite a good character creation there. So I spent a little bit of time creating some characters.
It has been changed since beta form.
Tower of Fantasy.
The character creator on Tower of Fantasy has been altered since beta, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
Because people have complained that they've nerfed certain things and changed things that were there in previous versions of the game.
Okay.
Like you say, it has been in beta before a few times.
But it is very similar to Genshin Impact in the way that the art style is presented, even though I think the art, the graphics, it does look more polished and clean on Genshin Impact. However, that nice anime style is still very good in Tower of Fantasy. But Tower of Fantasy is more of a futuristic type game. Obviously, it's an anime kind of world, but it's, you know, you've got like motorbike. I've seen trailers where you can have like motorbikes, and you've got like jetpacks, and like to get around. You know, whereas in Genshin Impact, it's just your glider thing, like your little wing things. But the other thing about Tower of Fantasy as well is this is like an MMO, whereas Genshin Impact is mainly, well, all I've played is just a single player experience. I think there is a multiplayer kind of MMO-ish option after you've done the main story, but that takes forever. Whereas this, after you've done the initial beginning bit, you see other players running around, and someone's mic's making a noise. What was that, mine?
Is
it?
it?
It's gone now. Yeah. So yeah, this is more of a kind of an MMO type game where you see other players running around and you can team up and things like that, which is quite cool. But what I like about this is that futuristic aspect. You know, with the jetpacks and just the way the world is set as well. I think they're both very good games in their own right. To be honest, they both have their perks. To be honest, but I've not really played enough of Tower Fantasy to make a really, to make a solid judgment of, oh yeah, this game's super amazing, blah 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 blah. But my initial impressions are very positive on this, to be honest. I mean, you look at, like, when I'm looking at the world map, it looks absolutely massive. It looks very beautiful. So I've not ventured too far into the world at all. But as I say, my initial impressions of actually playing it are very good. Watching some review videos on it, it looks decent as well. My only thing on it is the same with Genshin Impact, is is there going to come a point where I'm going to have to spend any money? Because this is a free-to-play game. It's kind of a gacha game like Genshin Impact, where you can pay for like characters and upgrades and stuff like that. Even though I never spent any money on Genshin Impact, how much of this of Tower Fantasy is decent, where in the free-to-play, and when it or if will it hit a point where you feel like you need to spend money? That's my only thing. But as I say, it's very beautiful. And as I say, it's free to play. I can't believe this is also on your mobile phone as well. I've not actually tried it on my phone, but I can imagine
That's
it looks decent.
That's where they make
on
a majority of their money.
I can imagine, yeah, because look how much money
Does it have like
Diablo's made.
cross-save, so you could play on your phone and then pick it up on console or something like that?
Yeah, it does. The same as Genshin Impact does between the PC and mobile phone.
Is Genshin not on Xbox, or is it on there now?
No, it's not on Xbox. It's on PlayStation, PC, and mobile phone. But with Genshin Impact, the mobile phone and PlayStation versions don't have a cross save.
So it's just the PC and the
it's just between the PC and the mobile phone, yeah. So
I suppose that's to argue with if you bought DLC or whatever on the phone, then went onto the PlayStation version and was downloading whatever that was on the PlayStation, they'd say, well, hang on, we didn't get a cut for that.
Yeah, definitely. But I think what people are really liking about Tower of Fantasy compared to Genshin Impact, it has that MMO feel where in the map, as an example, there's like the world bosses pop up, and then you get like 20, 30, 40 plus people all congregating in one area, like say with Final Fantasy or other games as well, and they're all fighting the same bosses, and it just gets more of a community feel in that regard. Yeah. So it's definitely a game I'm going to continue playing because it is, one, it's gorgeous, and two, I just think my initial impressions on it are really positive. So I don't know when I'm going to get time to play this, because one of the reasons I fell off Genshin Impact is just because I had too many games to play, and especially when you're subscribing to an MMO like Final Fantasy, you want to be playing the game you're paying the monthly sub for over the game that you're not paying the monthly sub for. But I think there might be room for both if I really do get into this, because as I say, the world is just very intriguing to me at the moment, and as I say, I haven't seen a lot of it. So if you've got PC, man, then definitely check this out. I don't think it's super duper needing the resources on PC. I think a low end PC could play this. Obviously you can play it on your phone, but I don't think these sort of games are the greatest on your phone. I mean, I tried Genshin Impact on my phone and it worked okay, but as soon as I started playing it on my PC with a controller, I was just like, yeah, this is the way to play it, so yeah.
I suppose they just optimise it to use as little power as possible so they can get it onto as many phones as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it looks
even
good.
The budget and stuff games, because if it only ran on like best iPhone and like the £1,000 Samsungs, what's the point really?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's quite funny because like I played Tower Fantasy for a few hours, and then I went straight into Genshin Impact just because I wanted to see the difference, and they are so similar in the gameplay. It's unbelievable. It really is.
Tower of Fantasy also a Chinese developer?
I think it might be, I need to double check that. Let me check.
Someone like NetEase or something like that behind it.
Hotter Studio is an indie company that resides in China. Yeah, so it is Chinese. Yeah. So, if you don't want the Chinese government taking your data, then probably not play it. So, yeah, there is that about it as well. I think that's an interesting point there that you raised on, because obviously Genshin Impact is Chinese developer, publisher, and same as this, and they seem to be slowly taking out. Well, they seem to be pushing out a lot of games at the moment.
There was one that's in the news as well.
Oh, it's not in my news. We'll talk about that in the news, then, mate, if you want. But yeah, I mean, the only info you have to give them is just an email, is your email address, and then you make an account. But yeah, probably worth rereading the terms and conditions, because it's like with TikTok, right? They take all your fucking data, so just double check on that. But I mean, my initial impressions are it's a decent game, but yeah, it's definitely worth being wary about the fact that it's Chinese, 100%. Cool. That's all I want to say on that, mate. Did you want to mention that bit of news now, Darren, or do you want to wait to the news section?
I can go for it now. It was just basically there's a game that a lot of people have been looking forward to since it was announced, called Black Myth Wukong.
Mm-hmm.
And it had new trailers released for it this week. One was a 8-minute sort of gameplay trailer, and the other one was a 6-minute sort of cutscene
Oh,
that they played through. It's a very impressive looking game. It's almost like a tent peg for Unreal Engine 5.
wow.
It started off development on Unreal Engine 4, but then
Oh, wow.
they've apparently made it easier for people to transfer their games from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5.
Oh, that's good.
So rather than obviously having to scrap the game and work again, like from the start on a new engine,
Yeah.
they were able to sort of just transfer a load of it across into
It,
it, and it's, when you see it, it is a very impressive game. It looks very Souls-like,
I'm saying it looks
obviously
good, but
following the legend of like Monkey, or Monkey Magic as it was known.
yeah, it does look very impressive. From what I've seen, I'm just watching the new trailer at the moment because I haven't had time to watch it this week, and yeah, it just surprises me, man. Like there's all these games coming from China now. I mean, a lot. I do find it a little bit concerning as well, to be honest, because the
Well,
games that they're
something like that isn't going to ask you for, hopefully not be like, I'll give us your email address and that. Like, just make
yeah,
games, like, rather than this sort of
yeah.
like a live service, as it were, with the other ones.
Mm. But it's just
But
like all
it's
the
a
games that
huge population of people. Like,
yeah,
that's why their mobile phone gaming thing out there is ridiculous, and why a lot of companies have adopted it, because it can make them a lot of money through like less effort.
yeah,
It's
and
just a shame those games will just disappear when the servers go off forever.
yeah, yeah. It is, man. But there's something to say, like the Chinese games that have come out have been very high quality, and I think it's something that Western developers need to be a little bit wary of. You know what I mean? They've got a lot of good competition on their hands. No, yeah, looks awesome. Um, who are we up to? Was it Nick now?
back to me.
Back to Nick.
Back to me. Yeah. So after I finished with Dead by Daylight the first time, like, I'd been drinking with Jack Daniels, so I thought, oh, I'll just keep streaming, because I had a few of my American friends in chat who I hadn't spoken to for a while.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, I'll play something. So I played What Remains of Edith Finch again.
Oh, good game
It's a
that.
great game.
Because that got a Series X PS5 patch in the last few weeks.
Oh, nice.
So that was obviously free if you've got it, and it's on Game Pass as well. But if you've got it, like, you get the free upgrade. It's one of these, if you got it on PS Plus a few years ago, don't get the upgrade, which is
All right.
weird, but you have to then buy it again or something. But they've been known for stuff like that on the PlayStation. They're a bit tight, but yeah, I played that. I mean, it's got a 4K 60 frames per second, and it is a lot smoother and faster. And basically, between levels, there was a lot of loading times before. This one, that's just like really. So you close the book and you're away straight away. It's like there's hardly any loading times at all. Also, somehow they've took it down from. I mean, because these games are never huge, but they've took it down from like 3.5 gig to 2.8 gig.
Oh, wow, that's pretty
So they've
decent.
knocked about 600-700 megabytes off. Because I watched a Digital Foundry video of this, and they just said it's just nice to see that developers are working over the years on, compression and things like that. Because I think this came out in, say, 2017, maybe.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So it's just nice. So I was playing this for a few hours because, like I said, I had to finish off my bottle of Jack Daniels,
Fair dues.
stuff like that. Just enjoying it and stuff like that. Because, like I said, just a lot of these walking simulators are crap because I think they did loads of them on PC after a while once they started getting popular. Some of the good ones, like this, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, Firewatch, and stuff like that. They're just really good games. Worth
Yeah,
a
that
play.
quality, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, really enjoyed that, and I mean, even the bit now, it's like, what's the bit where the baby in the bath and you're playing with all the ducks jumping up and down?
Yeah, I remember that.
And
That was awesome, that bit.
Then you've realised what's actually happening or what happened.
Yeah.
The baby, and you're like, oh, no, not the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good game. Like I said, it's on Game Pass. If anyone likes it, give it a go. It's a good little game. It's not. I don't think it's that long. I think maybe 3-5 hours tops, really. If you know what you're doing. I started off really well because I could remember, and then as I got further on, I forgot what I was doing. The Jack Daniels may have had something to do with it.
Yeah, fair enough, mate.
Yeah, that's a good little game. I like it.
Cool. Darren.
Other main one this week, I suppose, Phoenix Rising. I've been dipping in and out of again as well.
Phoenix Rising.
Which I believe Immortals Phoenix Rising, the Ubisoft game.
Yep.
That's like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
That's coming to Game Pass next month as well.
Yes, I was about to say, I see the announcement this week. It's coming to Game Pass at the end of the month, isn't it?
You can pick this up for £7 off Amazon now. They're practically giving it away.
Yeah, I picked it up for like literally £6, so like you can't go wrong with that, regardless.
Yeah, I mean, it's heading to Game Pass. I just wanted to mention, sorry, Dan, that there's been some rumours flying around today that I've noticed on social media that Ubisoft Plus may be coming to Game Pass in the very near future as well. So there'll be shitloads of games available. So that's just something to ponder over. But yeah, the fact that Immortals is coming to Game Pass is awesome as well, I think. Get some Chivos on that.
Didn't that come out? I think everyone praised it, but I think it came out at a funny time, so it just didn't sell that well.
I think it came out around the same time as the last Assassin's Creed game, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it was like late November, early December, and there was just loads of big open world games. I think it just got lost in the shuffle, didn't it?
I think so too. Because I tried to play it and then I kind of gave up on it after a couple of hours because I had loads of other games to play. Oh. Anyway, Darren, what were you saying, man? Yeah.
I know, I was saying about like I was playing Phoenix Rising. I've persevered with some of the puzzle dungeons. I'm getting used to them a bit, although they are still kind of irritating at times.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a fun enough world to go around, and I've actually like completed the first sort of, I'd say, fifth or so of the game.
Okay, nice.
Because you're basically given a task to go out and find like these gods that have disappeared.
And
you do quests once you find them to bring them back. And I will say, when they actually come back, it looks pretty cool. Like, I do like the sort of like the aesthetic they went for.
Yeah, I like the humour in the game. I think that's pretty good from what I remember.
It is sort of like amusingly sort of like a fun way of telling sort of pretty terrible stories.
Yeah.
Of like the Greek mythology and stuff, and what went on with the gods, because they weren't really nice people.
Yeah.
In fact, it's only really like certain religions where the gods are actually sort of benevolent. Most of the other sort of like things, they were all pretty terrible people.
Cool, man. I'm glad you're still enjoying it.
More people will be checking it out when it hits Game Pass.
And I can't wait to hear everyone say, I can't wait to hear more people say, oh, it's just like Zelda. Because that's like, it is such a copy and paste, really, especially with the dungeons. It just makes me laugh.
Were they that short in Zelda as well then?
Some of them were short.
Long.
Some, yeah, from what I remember, it's been a few years now, but I don't remember them being really that long, to be honest. But some of the puzzles were quite tough, but yeah. Okay, is it my go again? Back to me, yeah. Okay, so I did actually complete a game this week. Go me. Road 96. I absolutely completed it to completion, which was awesome. It's really good. Really good. So I remember playing this on the PC a good few years ago, but never actually finished it. I only did a couple of playthroughs. And actually didn't see it through to the end. So basically the gist is that there's you're in this country which is really awful, kind of a dictatorship, and the teenagers are disappearing. I'm not going to go more into that. So you play as teenagers trying to cross the border, and along your journey you're hitchhiking across the country to get to the border, and you meet these wild and wacky characters along the way, and it all ties into the story. So basically, you really to see the end of the game completely. There's a few different endings depending on certain actions that you make throughout the game. Characters can also die, but you can you need, so basically to see the end of the game, you need to successfully cross the border with 6 different teenagers. If you fail to cross the border, then you basically it takes you back to the main menu and you pick another one and you start again. But basically you need to get across the border with 6 teenagers. And I know it sounds quite repetitive, but it's really well done, because you never go to the same location twice, but you run into these same characters multiple times. And stuff kind of carries on with these characters from what's happened with the last teenager that you come across them with. And some of the characters you meet, I would say all of them you meet actually, are really well done. Like, the backstories are very well defined. The actual characters themselves are very well done, like with the voice acting and just how they are. Some of them are quite comedic, some of them are quite serious. And there's various stories going on with these characters, and some of the and at the ending, oh man, I'm not going to spoil it, but I was like, wow, this is just so well done. Yeah, so, but you can play through like the different I'd say levels, because you go to different, like, you do like an area, then you hitchhike and it takes you to the next area, and then you see on the map how far you are from the border. And there's lots of collectibles along the way. There's the different characters you meet as well, and it just plays just really, really well. Like, there's a lot of dialogue options, and there's a lot of collectibles, and funnily enough, it is actually quite easy for your character not to make it to the border by either dying or getting arrested. But when you get to the border, at the end of a playthrough, there's multiple ways of getting across the border. So you can hide in the back of a truck, you can climb a mountain, you can what was the other one, climb the wall with some other people, and there's a few other various different ways as well, and you can either pass or fail these ways of getting across the border as well. It's got a really nice art style to it, which I really like. It's kind of like cartoony, but it's really nice. But I just really enjoyed the game because it has so many elements to it. It has like puzzle elements, and the dialogue options, and just the characters you meet. You just kind of, when you get, say, across the border or not, you kind of like want to do that next playthrough with the next teenager just to see, what's happening with all these weird and wacky characters that you've met along the way. You want to know what's going to happen next. And it's just such a well done game. And the other thing about it is the soundtrack is so good. So damn good. It's all original music that the dev team made. And it's just spot on. It's spot on with the setting completely. It's so good. And throughout the game as well, you can collect cassette tapes, which is all the soundtracks in the game, and you can and if there's a radio, you can put the cassette tapes in the radio in the game and just play it, which is really, really cool as well. So yeah, it's good because you've got a little bit of money management there as well. You've got to manage your energy. If you run out of energy, obviously you die, so you need to manage that. Like, you can buy food, water, drinks, you can sleep, and that gets some of your energy back as well. So it's a real true gem of a game, and it's on Game Pass. So if you've got Game Pass, this is definitely a game to check out. I absolutely love this game. It is so damn good. So 10 out of 10 from me. Fucking awesome. Yes. Nick.
Right, now on everybody's favourite game, Fortnite.
I can't believe that shot.
Everyone loves it. That's great. Basically, got a Dragon Ball Z update, like event this week, last week, but in the last few days. Because I was sort of a bit burnt out on it. I thought, I'm kind of bored. I might play it later. And then I saw that. I was like, yep, I'm back on. I've got to go on. And obviously, I was playing with people in my Twitch chat. Last night, we were playing for probably 4 hours. Just playing. It's just such a laugh. I mean, they've added 4 Dragon Ball characters, basically Goku, Vegeta, Lord Beerus, and Bulma. And unfortunately, especially the internet is mad, it's not like sexy, slutty Bulma from early Dragon Ball, in like a bunny rabbit costume. It's like the newer one, just like in a
I have no idea, mate.
And stuff like that. Yeah, basically, I've
never watched it, so I wouldn't know.
Well, that's because you're not cool like the rest of us, you see.
I think it's because the term is I'm not a weeb.
I don't know what that means.
Doesn't mean anything, to be honest. It's a nonsense saying that has no actual connection at all.
I mean, as far as just more characters, like more quests to do as them, and there's basically some capsules that land on the map, and then you can get Nimbus, which is like a flying cloud. Then you pick up energy where you could do, like the Kamehameha kind of like Hadouken thing. Where you can like hit people. So I've just been running around trying to hit people with that. Was what everybody seems to be doing. But yeah, it's really fun. And then I think there's some other bits where you've got in the where'd be like another area where you can go and stuff. That's basically from the Dragon Ball. That's not from Fortnite sort of area.
Oh, right.
But yeah, it's just fun. Like these games, it's just fun with people. Just have a laugh. I think we got 3 wins as well. The only thing weird is I bought Vegeta, and for some reason he just seems overly tall compared to everybody else.
They are slightly weird proportioned. Like,
I don't know if they're going to update that sometimes, because they've all been mostly. So it's just funny watching like Dragon Ball characters like dance like Rick Astley and things like that, and doing Gangnam Style. But plus also there's a fusion dance thing. I was like, yep, I've got to buy that. I don't know what it does, but. I don't know if it does actually fuse the characters together like from the show, but
no, I think it's just a name, mate.
It probably just does that, but it's fun. It's a good game. Like I say, it's a community game, and it's easy to play that because like I say, it's cross-play between everything as well. So I know people who play on PS4, Xbox, on PC, and someone I know who play on Switch. So we've got every console all playing, or every platform all playing together in the same time.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
that's with that. I think I don't know if Dead by Daylight is on. I don't know if that's on a Switch. It might be. Maybe that because that's quite a long, not as powerful one, but it's good. It's just more Fortnite. If you like Fortnite and you like Dragon Ball, you'll probably like this. Like Webby and you don't, then you probably won't.
It's shite.
It's not shy. You're there every Thursday playing Fortnite. I've seen you, mate. Go on, your big points. You're hooked. You know you are.
No.
I'll put the thumbs down. I can see you on chat. See you on stream.
All right, cool. That's enough shite for 1 week. Darren.
I've played Fortnite as well, but
Oh, for fuck's sake!
I'm not going to talk about it. But I just thought I'd mention it just to be amusing.
Night friends.
To save the world with my mate.
You play the original stuff though, don't you?
Yeah.
He's old school, mate.
Because they have like seasons that run during it, which can get you materials to upgrade your characters and stuff higher than what they can normally go.
Right, should we talk about something that isn't Fortnite then?
Go for it.
Okay, so let's actually talk about a good game that I'm actually quite surprised I don't know anyone else that's playing it, but it is fucking amazing. Arcade Paradise. Why is no one playing this game? I would like to know why no one is playing this. Because...
Heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Are you fucking joking me? I only talked about it... Oh no, you obviously didn't listen to the podcast last week that you weren't on.
Oh no, I didn't, no.
No, so...
Being a twat.
So, Arcade Paradise, so it's been out a few weeks now. And since it's come out, I've been slightly addicted to it. So, I've got it on Xbox. It's actually available on everything. Switch, PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. It's £16. I picked this up on launch day. Got it on the Xbox because I could use me Bing points. But basically, it's an arcade kind of management sim, but it's first person. And it's got a really cool twist to it. So basically, the beginning of the game is you take over your dad's laundry shop, yeah? So you have tasks to do the laundry. So you put the clothes in the washer and then the dryer and all that boring shit. But in the back room, there's a couple of arcade machines. So you start off by opening up that back room to people that are washing their clothes to use the arcade machines, and then you find out quickly that the arcade in the back room is actually making a lot more money than the laundrette. So as you make more money, you expand the back room by buying more arcade machines. You can actually make the room bigger. You can deck it out. But the cool thing about this game as well is every arcade game in this game you can play. You just walk up to the arcade machine and you can play them. And the other cool thing about this is a lot of the games are 2, 3, 4 player, and you can play them multiplayer local. So me and Marcus have had some great fun playing some of the arcade games. Now, they aren't obviously official real life arcade games. They are ones that the dev team have made themselves, but they are pretty much clones of popular games that we know and love, like Dig Dug is a prime example. You've got like Ice Hockey. Yeah, you've got like a racing game that's kind of reminds me of what
Super
was that?
Sprint or something.
No, I was going to say Outrun, but not Outrun. The motorbike game on the Mega Drive, but it was also in the arcade.
Super Hang On.
Super Hang On, that's it. Kind of like that, but as a spaceship, but it's like the graphics to Super Hang On and all that. And actually, a lot of the arcade games are really fun to play. So I've been really having a lot of fun. But the fact is, because there's so many elements to the game where you kind of like... So what I do is I kind of manage playing the arcade games between doing the loads of washing and drying, because you have like an 80s style wristwatch. So, you know, when a washing is done in the washing machine, it will beep at you. And then if you do the washing and drying in a timely manner, you get a big tip, like a $20 tip. But if you get, but the longer you leave it, the lower the rank you get, and the lowest is a C rank. And if you get a C rank, you only get a $5 tip. So it depends how much you want that extra $15. But I'm at a point where my arcade is making so much money that it doesn't really matter if I do any laundry at all. But what's really cool about it as well is you can buy, obviously, different arcade machines. There's even got like a Dance Revolution one. You know, we have to match the arrows as they're going up the screen, and the music's quite good, like darts and stuff like that. There's also a jukebox, and it's got a really good soundtrack. It's like an early 90s soundtrack, and it has like some proper cool like 90s rave music, and also like rock music and stuff like that. So there's loads of taste, but you can buy more music tracks for it. So basically, in your staff room, there's an old like 90s computer, and you dial up on the internet, goes it does even the 90s dial up sound, and then as you make money, you can buy more things, but you can't. But there's one store on there on the computer which doesn't take the dollars that you earn from your shop. That only takes English pounds, and the only way you get pounds is to do challenges. So every day when you start a new day at the laundrette, you get challenges, and the challenges range from unload, make sure you do at least 10 10 loads of clothes today, or you need to get a certain high score on one of the arcade machines, or there's even one for not doing any laundry today. There's all these different ones, right? And but a lot of them are to get you to play certain arcades, which is really cool. So you do your challenges and you get your pounds, and you can buy the super cool things. So you can also get upgrades like a new pair of trainers, which makes you run around faster. You can get an assistant manager, and what the assistant manager does is empties out all the coin boxes for you instead of you having to do it manually. So because if you don't have him, you literally you go around each arcade and you empty all the money out, and then you have to put the money in the safe, and then once the money's in the safe, it goes into your account on the computer. But you've also got to manage the shop as well and clean it up. So you got to pick up the rubbish off the floor, clean the toilet, pick up all the chewing gum. But it turns into a little game, each one of these little chores. And the better you do, you actually get money as well. But it does it in a way it does like in Doom when you get a multi-kill and it has that voice like multi-kill. It does it for that, excellent, you get different rankings for how well you do. If you aim your trash bag into the bin perfect, it goes totally tubular or excellent, what I mean? So it's everything is gamified, which is really, really cool. And it's just, I just find this game really addictive because I just love the fact of, I can't, I like to manage my time where, I've got all the loads of washing in, I've got 3 minutes to spare to play some arcade games. I play the arcade games, I watch it go off, right, I'm going to go and put them in the dryer, and then and then I'll manage my time like that, and then it's managing your money and all that, depending, what arcade machine shall I buy? Where am I going to put it? Because you get a little blueprint as well. If you press the back button on your controller, and you can choose where to place your arcade machines. And depending on where you place your arcade machines, depends on how popular they are. So if you've got an arcade that's not very popular, but then you put it next to an arcade that is popular, it makes the unpopular one a bit more popular. Because obviously, people who are waiting to play the popular one will probably play the unpopular one, right? And then in the arcade management part on your PDA as well, you can set things like the difficulty of the machines and the pricing of the machines, and then you got to try and manage it to that perfect level where you get the most money per hour from those machines. So it's actually quite a lot of depth to it as well, which is something that I really like about it. So, there's nothing else like this out there, and I just think that's just something that has a charm to me. It's just something completely different to anything I've ever played in my life, and it's just a true gem. And at that price as well, I think it's a winner. So yeah, 10 out of 10 from me. Boom. Yeah. Nick.
Yeah, back on the old stuff on the Dreamcast. Capcom versus SNK. I've been playing, so I bought that because I got my obviously when I got my Dreamcast modded and all that, it's region free. So I bought this the Japanese version off eBay for it was 11 quid. Because to get that version compared to the English version or the American version, they're 60, 70 quid.
All right.
And it's a fighting game. Pretty much everything's in English anyway. Plus, I'm still not sure because there was a lot with the Dreamcast. There was a lot of games that some had PAL 60 hertz and some didn't.
Right. Okay.
Obviously, if you got the Japanese version, they were all PAL 60 hertz, weren't they? Which runs a bit faster. And yes, I was playing that, and I really like this. I don't know. I might like this better than Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Oh, wow.
It's just, I don't know. There's something about the art style and just how they move.
Yeah.
So obviously you get the
they feel nice and chunky in
they fit. Yeah, it's weird to explain. It's like when you try to explain how a shooting game is better than another shooting game because pretend guns just feel better. It's just weird. Some games feel like you're playing as the character and everything just feels right and hits and connects. And sometimes you play games just like this character isn't doing anything. I haven't got a clue. But the difference is you can maybe you could do this in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I couldn't find it. Maybe there's a setting within a setting, but you can actually choose to have 1, 2, or 3 players. Characters at the start and stuff, and then in between each bout as well, you can flick to which person you want to start first on.
Oh, that's quite cool.
Stuff like that.
Is it the original or the second one?
Original. I haven't got the second one yet. I will get the second one as well.
I was going to say the second one is like highly beloved. Out
between
of the two, I think it is known to be the better one.
But like I said, because this, even though it was the Japanese version, it was on UK eBay. So I thought, well, I'll just get that now. Just one to see that my Dreamcast is region free, and two, just to play it because I don't know why. Well, I've always liked fighting games back then. I'm just getting into it a lot more now. Plus,
I think I've got a copy of it on the original Xbox. Sorry.
I don't know if that one's on the Xbox. I know number 2. I think I've got number 2 on the original Xbox.
And SVC Chaos as well, which is like
that's the one I've got. Sorry, but then I've got Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the Xbox, which is apparently a terrible port.
Oh, okay.
For whatever reason. Also, I think they didn't like that. The original Xbox weird D-pad thingy.
Oh,
that's not good for fighting games. I mean, to be fair, the only controller that's really good for fighting games is probably the Saturn controller and PS4. Maybe I think the PS4's probably got the best D-pad of all the PlayStations. Probably if you're going to use a D-pad rather than that, because do people really use analog sticks for fighting games?
I do.
Depends. Sometimes if the D-pad's a bit jism, then you do end up using the stick just to make the rotations and stuff actually work and register.
I think if that's design, I mean, Soul Calibur I use with the analog stick, and Dead or Alive. I think that's it. Everything else I use the D-pad with.
Fair enough. I think it's everyone's just an individual.
Good, but like at the start, you can. So at the start, you choose like Capcom or SNK, and then you can choose all the different fighters. Which I don't know exactly what it's changing because it sort of looks similar art style to me. Then it's weird because it's not like you can choose any 3 characters. I don't know if they've done it for balancing issues or something, whether someone would be OP. But like you have to pick them from 3 different lines or something of characters. I couldn't just pick all my favourites. I mean, I got Ryu, Mai, and who else did I? had someone else as well, but yeah, really enjoyed it. Just really good game.
Nice.
I'm surprised they haven't done more games like this. Versus games. Do you know what I mean? It's like
they just money. I think
the last one they did, like that was really well known for the crossover and probably putting other people off, was the Street Fighter versus Cross Tekken, which I still enjoyed.
It's got to be 15 years old nearly?
Yeah, well, strangely enough, BioShock is apparently celebrating its 15th birthday.
Oh, I can't believe that, man. It makes me feel so old.
That was 2007.
Wow.
Which also means that it was 15 years ago that I got my Xbox 360 Elite. The Elite console with the 120 gig hard drive.
Wow. Does the 360 count as retro now?
Yeah, technically it does, in theory. I'd say before that, though, I'd class as retro. Like going to the PS1, PS2.
I think if that's the gen before last gen, that counts as retro. So yeah, I think it does.
Wow. Well, that's insane. That is absolutely insane. Wow. I do have a retro game to talk about shortly, actually. But before that,
And that's me
after
finished talking
Street
about
Fighter,
that anyway.
yeah, after Street Fighter Cross Tekken, they kind of didn't really do many until I suppose the BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. Well, but they just sort of like grabbed all of their sort of like most of the characters from some of their other fighting game franchises and just blended them.
It just seems all they're bringing out is just like DLC from characters from TV and stuff. Like, was it in Mortal Kombat? You had like Negan and things like that, or was that Tekken?
No, that was bloody Tekken.
Yeah, there's some of them. I know there was one in
I
Mortal
always
Kombat
get
as
look.
well.
That's my issue. Like my issue with like having the guest joke characters in there is like for me personally, there are established characters still missing from your roster, and you're giving us some new random character that maybe only 5 to 10% of the actual player base want.
mm,
The rest of us would rather have the characters we know and we're still waiting for. So you're taking up a character slot of a beloved character. I mean, one character that's been missing from quite a few of the Samurai Shodown games, like of recent thing, is Genan, and he was like a really popular character in the earlier games. He's still yet to make appearances in anything modern.
I mean, I don't know a
Just
lot
as an
about fighting
example,
games, mate.
they were the bread and butter of the arcades back in the day.
Yeah, I know,
So
mate.
the arcade I used to play on, I used to go on holiday, like in the summer of the caravan. It was just like Street Fighter 2, 5p a credit. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
When they used to give you
Fighting
£1
big
and it
credit.
actually lasts you more than 10 seconds in an arcade.
Wow. The good old days, mate.
Did you ever get the wives' tale of like putting money into the Turtles arcade cabinet and hitting the start button as fast as possible to get us like extra credits?
No.
All right, we did for some reason.
Oh, okay. Did it
I
work?
think some machines you could do. I mean, I remember the bloke who used to be there because, like, you knew me in the fact, so I'd be in there playing and I'd run out and I'd be like, "Aw," and then he'd come over and just open the machine and just like press like button loads and give me like loads more credits. I was like, "Yes."
That's
Because
good.
you
of
knew
them.
with that one, because it would just be like cowabunga, like whenever you push the
Nice.
what's it down, the start button.
Is it my go again?
It probably will be because I've literally just sort of like done those 3 games majority.
Oh, is that what you've played, Darren? Okay.
Yeah, there isn't still
Yeah.
nothing really out at the moment, and the other stuff I mentioned time and time again, week after week. So what's the fucking point?
Play some new games then, mate.
He's busy, man, isn't
I'm
he?
waiting for Soul Hackers 2, which is due out this week, which has been getting really good reviews in Japan. So that gives me a lot of hope that it's going to be pretty cool. It'll have a nice following because of it obviously being connected to the Persona series and Shin Megami Tensei and stuff. So
Okay. All right. Well, I want to talk about my one retro game I've been playing this week. If that's okay. So Game Pass on PC added a load of retro games from Bethesda, and one of them is one of my all-time favorite first-person multiplayer online shooters. Return to Castle of Wolfenstein.
Streaming that, weren't you?
I was.
I was lurking a bit. I was supposed to be at work. That's why I wasn't.
Right. Yeah, so the reason why I was playing this is because on the original Xbox, 20 years ago, maybe 21 years ago, oh man, I'm so fucking old, I played this game religiously for well over a year. This was back in the day where, in my opinion, it was the birth of console multiplayer online gaming on the Xbox where games were so good you could play them without getting bored for more than a couple of weeks. And I literally did play this non-stop for over a year, so much so that my disc got a little crack in the middle where I think it was just used so fucking much. Yes, I've really good fond memories of playing Return to Castle Wolfenstein multiplayer. It does have a good single player campaign as well, but what's really weird about this, right? So on the Xbox, I use, and also it's only on PC now, but it's exactly the same game. There was one map I always used to play called Beach Invasion. So basically, you have two teams. You've got the Axis and the Allies. The Allies start on the beach, and the engineers need to blow up one of two parts of the wall. So you throw down the dynamite, then you have these like pliers, and old school graphics, and you have to arm the dynamite. But then the engineers on the Axis team could come down on the beach and disarm it. So there's a little bit of fun gameplay there. And then basically, once the wall is breached, the Allies need to get into the bunker all the way down to the bottom, steal some documents, and then get those documents to the radio. So you can imagine the chaos that ensues between the two teams attacking and defending. And it's just such a fun game because, it's kind of one of those early multiplayer games that, needed some teamwork and some tactics to a degree. And this is why I liked it, because it also, it was one of those first games it had classes as well. So you had a medic, an engineer, a soldier, and what was the other one? I can't fucking remember now. Anyway, I had 4 different classes. A general, because he can throw down the airstrikes. Yeah, so it's just so much fun. And what was surprising to me, so this launched on Game Pass. I also have this on Steam, by the way. But what surprised me is how many servers were going. When I went online, I got it, I installed it, that come out, went online thinking, there'll be a couple of servers because the game's old and no one will be playing it. Fuck me, there was so many servers in the list. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. So I've had a good few days of playing Return to Castle Wolfenstein online, and obviously the graphics look very dated now because it is such an old game, but the gameplay is still there. It's still so much fun to play. So, it does go to show that these old multiplayer games, like they can still hold the test of time and still be enjoyable if you can look past the graphics. And it is one of those games that I would love to see them do a fucking remaster or remake or something, because it's just so much fun. It really, really is. I can see myself playing this online for a little bit longer because it's just so fucking good, man. It really, really is. So, yeah. And also on the same day, they released quite a few other games on Game Pass. Quake 4, a game called Battlespire, and Elder Scrolls Adventures Redguard, and Wolfenstein 3D. Which is really cool. So they've had quite a few classic games. And also, if you've ever been into Quake Champions, if you have Game Pass, you can now have access to all the characters. So when Quake Champions came out, it came out as a free-to-play title, but then you had to buy the extra champions and all that, and I don't think it did very well. But now they're just giving you all the characters. If you've got Game Pass, you can still play it. So I had a little go on that as well, but it was alright. But I think the game's only about 3 or 4 years old now, but I think it's dated a little bit with the graphical department, and it just kind of was just like, I can't be fucked, man. I went back to Return to Castle Wolfenstein. But yeah, it's just nice to see that, because obviously Microsoft have acquired Bethesda. It's just nice to see some of these classic properties make a return in a really big way, and it's just kept some of these games alive. Because I think, if Return to Castle Wolfenstein hadn't come onto Game Pass, it would be very dead. Because, as I said, I bought it on Steam a few years ago because I felt like having a little bit of a nostalgia trip, and it was just dead. So I think this has brought the game back a little bit. So yeah, 21-year-old game, and people are still playing it online again. It's great, man. Absolutely great to see. So yeah, loving life. Good times. Nick, have you got anything else you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I've got one more, which is another game I bought, another Dreamcast game. which I bought on eBay for some reason. It's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. It's strange because I've already got it on PS2 from back in the day, and then I bought the HD remakes that came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Which I think probably look better games, but and for some reason I'm playing it on the Dreamcast because I'm like, oh, that's better than the PlayStation 2 version, even though it's not better than the ones on PS4. But that's because that's how I played the loads of this when I was younger, and then thought I could skateboard, I can do that. I couldn't skateboard, I broke my arm. I'm really not. It is harder than it looks. Apart from the falling over and hurting yourself part, I'm good at that. But I just played that like a few hours, just like the muscle memory comes back, and then and there's like the character's like, oh, I remember the special moves, and it's like, how can I remember the special moves from a game I played 20 years ago?
Oh, I know.
I keep forgetting my chip and pin number for my credit card.
It is mental. Yeah. And that's something I forgot to mention with Return to Castle Wolfenstein that I was meant to say to you is like, I played the game 21 years ago, and as soon as I went back onto the Beach Invasion map, I knew exactly where to go. All the little tricks on how to get down to the document room fast and everything. I was just like sitting there thinking, fucking hell, how do I remember all this? I haven't played it in 20 years. And that's exactly how you feel on Tony Hawk, yeah.
When we were younger, our brains were basically like a sponge absorbing information. It just makes me wonder what happens if we'd have put something actually useful into it.
Oh, I know, mate. I do wonder that myself.
Like, oh man, we could have had a really good job and been loaded by now. Instead, we learned like video games and Nickelodeon, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just really enjoyed it. Played like the first two levels, like the warehouse and the
is it the
school level, which is on now. Yeah, and that's still really. I don't know why this guy's doing it. He just wall ride 5 bells. I hate wall riding. I just can't seem to get it to go right.
I'm surprised that you're playing this and not the remaster because it's the same game but prettier graphics.
I bought the remaster when it came out, and I've never played it.
You're meant to. It's on PlayStation Plus now as well, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I bought it when it came out, and I just haven't played. I installed it. I was like, I'll play that one day. I'm then actually playing them.
I'm the same. I bought it on Epic. It's the only game I've bought on Epic on my PC. When it was on sale, I did the first 2 levels. I don't think I actually finished the school level, and I just got a bit pissed off and just uninstalled it.
Yeah, I mean, the only difference is between this one, like Tony Hawk's 2. I think most people say Tony Hawk's 2 is the best one. That's the majority of people. Some people fight for 3, but I think 2 is probably...
Was 3 on the PS3 or the PS2?
I think it may have been both. I'm not sure.
What was the one where they added reverts?
Was that a Skate, wasn't it? Or was that a Tony Hawk's game?
Or was that 2?
Oh, they didn't have reverts. It's had manuals in this one. It's the first one that had manuals in, so you could just sort of do that, but...
Old school, man. Old school.
Yeah, it's just really good, and I'm just sad they don't make games as... Well, I suppose they do make games as good as this, but just not as much fun.
Yeah, I think in the remaster of these as well, Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, they had to change some of the soundtrack.
Probably, licensing and stuff like that. There isn't much. Much they can do. I mean, they can't force musicians to use their songs, especially if some of them are dead. You can't really dig them up and say, "Oh, can I put that song back into Tony Hawk's?" Because we get in trouble for that, I assume. But it just is what it is.
It is a remake usually when they do it, isn't it? It's not just a...
Yeah.
And I found out basically there's another version of this on the original Xbox, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 X.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm looking for that on eBay as well because I'm just a sad person.
Fair dues, mate.
But this one, they added a bit more, like, I won't say RPG elements, just a little bit. Like, once you've done stuff, you unlocked, like, points what you could use to upgrade your skater to make him, like, jump higher, spin faster, stay in the air longer and stuff like that. So some of the stuff that you think you can get in like the earlier levels might be better when it says, "Oh, do you want to move over to the next level?" Just do it, and then you can upgrade your character, and then go back to the earlier levels and mop up the rest of them. Whereas in like Tony Hawk's 1, I was one of these like, no, I'm not going on to the next level until I've unlocked everything. I need to get everything on the list picked. Yeah, this is really good. I mean, because I remember I said I was playing this Tony Hawk's 2. It must be, 3 years ago now? Maybe a bit, like maybe 2-3 years ago. And I said they should really remake this or make a better version. And then I think about 6-7 months later, they announced the remaster. So I could play some other old games and remaster them, but probably not.
Cool, man. I'm going to... excuse me, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat at the moment. I've only played a couple more games, actually. So I'm going to talk about the... I'm really late to the boat on this. I'm a little bit like Nick this week. Call of Duty Vanguard. But the zombies on Call of Duty Vanguard.
Apparently that's the best part.
It's fucking brilliant, man. Like, I hadn't played it. I hadn't played it at all, the zombies. So I picked up COD Vanguard on a sale. When was it? About 3 months ago or so. And I've been really enjoying the multiplayer on that. I haven't spoken about it every week because I thought that people just get a bit bored of me just talking about it all the time. But the other night, I had the house to myself. Mrs. stayed the night with her parents somewhere, and I'm not going to go into that story. So I had like the night to myself. I thought, you know what? I can have the big telly and play my Xbox. And what am I going to play? Call of Duty. What shall I try? Zombies. I've not tried it before, so I played with some randoms. All the other free randoms are on the PlayStation. I was on the Xbox there, and it was bloody brilliant. Like, Zombies is one of those modes where you do need a little bit of time to play, because like I think our Zombies mode lasted nearly an hour before we all died. It's like waves of zombies, isn't it? A bit like Horde mode. And then you can upgrade your guns, and you can unlock other parts of the levels. And then there's a point in the levels, though, where the mad scientist bloke or whatever, he's like, oh, you can escape now through this rune to finish it. So I don't know if you get more points if you do that, but we'd skipped on ignoring that, and then we just got to a point where we all died on quite a high wave. But it's just a lot of fun, man. Like, I hadn't played Zombies in years. And as a multiplayer experience, it's just a lot of fun, because you're going around, you're unlocking parts of the level, you're just getting overwhelmed by zombies, but, you're upgrading your weapons, you can upgrade your actual character as well, like with more health and speed boosts and stuff like that, and it's just really well done. And I think there's 3 different zombie modes in Call of Duty Vanguard. I've only tried one of them. So I'm quite keen to try all of the zombie modes in this. I would actually like to try and get some community members who have the game on with me, but I know that might be a little bit of a tall order because I don't actually know many people that have Vanguard. But if you're listening to this right now and you have Call of Duty Vanguard, ping me on Discord in the Call of Duty Discord room, and let me know if you fancy a game on this, because it's so freaking good, man. It's so much fun. It just gives me some good vibes of the old COD games, because I used to really enjoy playing zombies back in the day, and I think just because it's been so long that I've played zombies, it's just very fresh for me. So yeah, let's get some COD action in before Modern Warfare 2 drops. Let's make the most of Vanguard before we all delete it off our hard drives and rinse it for all it's worth. So if anyone wants to join me, please do. It's so much fun. And I know Nick's just gone to the toilet, so I'm going to talk about the last game I've been playing this week. So I've actually been playing Multiverses with Mr. Peebs this week. So big shout out to Peebs for being my co-op buddy on Multiverses. and it is like this isn't. I can't even. Oh, what's the word I want to say? This is basically a clone of Smash Bros. I can't put it in any other way. It is Smash Bros, but with non-Nintendo characters. Yeah, it's all Warner Brothers characters. But it's really well done. This game is a lot more fun than what I thought it was going to be, to be honest. The character selection is really cool. My favourite character at the moment is actually Wonder Woman. She's absolutely fucking brilliant character to play as. But you've got like some really cool characters in it, like Superman, Tom and Jerry, Shaggy, the Tasmanian Devil.
Cool.
Yeah, loads of characters, but and they are going to be adding a lot more characters to the game as well. But at the moment, there's quite a lot of characters. I've not actually spent any money on the game at all. You can, buy the in-game currency to unlock characters, but within a PlayStation with Peebs, I earned enough currency from just playing it to unlock the Tasmanian Devil. I didn't actually try him out though because I had to come off, but it's a lot of fun. So it's basically, if you played Smash Bros, you've played Multiverses. It's basically what me and Peeps did was 2v2. There's loads of different styles of levels, and it's basically you have to knock the opposing characters out the level exactly Smash Bros style. So underneath each character is their health bar. The higher it goes, the easier it is to knock them out of the arena. And then it's the first team to knock out 4 opponents, or the 2 opponents 4 times, is the winning team. And me and Peeps actually won quite a lot, which is quite surprising. So that was really good. Yeah, it's just really fun because each character has their own abilities, much like with Smash Bros. But no, I didn't find any characters overpowered, which is really nice. Everyone's got their quirks, and it's just a fun game. The cool thing about this is it's free to play. I haven't felt any pressure to spend any money on it, which is a bonus. And it's complete cross-play as well, so between all the systems. I don't think it's on the Switch, but between PlayStation, Xbox and PC. And it's also, because you have to make a Warner Brothers account, your save data, your account data saves into their servers, so you could actually just play it. You could have it installed on all your systems, and you could play some of it on your PC, turn it off, and then you load it up on your Xbox, for example, and your progress will be exactly where it was on your PC with all your characters unlocked and all that. So that's really, really cool. Yeah. So apart from the faff of having to make a fucking Warner Brothers account, which was a little bit of a pain in the ass, once you get through that, it's actually a really fun game. As I say, it's completely free to play, which means it's accessible to everybody, which I think is absolutely fantastic. But what they also do, if you don't want to spend money and you don't play it a lot, they actually do a rotation of the free characters that you can use. So, if you don't play it a lot and you don't earn the currency, like, I think they rotate the characters every week or something. So each time you play, you'll be able to play as different characters, which is pretty good as well. So, yeah, it's fun. It's kind of come out of nowhere as well, to be honest, which has been quite a pleasant surprise. And I think this would
It
actually...
was announced a while back, I believe, but sort of only sort of released this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been off my radar, to be honest, but I think the fact it's complete crossplay as well, I think it would make for a really fun gamer night. And I know gamer nights don't really happen in this community anymore because everyone's so fucking busy. I think this would make for a good laugh just because it is just silly fun. So, apart from Gran Turismo 7 gamer night and my F1 gamer night with Frosty, which I talk about every week anyway, so I'm not going to bore anyone to death with that again. That is literally all I've played. Nick, are you back or not?
I'm back. Yep, I'm done.
Are you done as well? You done, or you played anything else, mate?
And that's it. That's all I played.
Okay, cool. Shall we get into news? There might be some news that you haven't. Oh, I've only got 2 bits of news. Might be some news I haven't written down, but one piece of news that happened this week, which I just thought was just a little bit fucking silly, to be honest. Basically, Spider-Man released on the PC this week. I actually have it on PC. I played it for about 10 minutes and it looks gorgeous. But so basically the news is, obviously with PC you can do a lot of mods in it, and there's actually some really good mods out there. There's mods where you can play Stan Lee as the main character. And various other mods as well, which is fantastic. However, one mod got banned, and the modder got banned off Nexus Mods, which is the world's biggest mod hosting website. And all this modder did was have a mod which changed the game to the Middle Eastern version of Spider-Man. So basically it replaces the LGBT flags with the USA flags, which is the version that the Middle Eastern people get. And the reason he put that mod out is because obviously not everybody agrees with that flag. And it's a single player game, so I don't really see the harm in it personally if people want to change the game so they don't have to see it.
It's the mods are fucked up anyway all the time. How many games have like nude mods and stuff like that?
Yeah, there's a lot worse mods out there than replacing a fucking flag. Yeah, but because of the world that we live in today, people got offended by it. I don't know fucking why. And then that modder got banned from ever putting any mods on Nexus Mods again. However, because of the publicity of this, because obviously all the gaming websites picked up on this news, etc. Obviously, the mod has become even more popular, and all you got to do is a simple Google search, and you can find where it's hosted and download it anyway. So it's not actually stopped it from getting shared around the internet anyway. And I just think it's just a really silly move of Nexus Mods to ban this guy. Because as I say, as you've said, Darren, you know, Nexus Mods are happy to host very bad mods for games, which I'm not even going to go into.
I think recently someone has actually made a mod that replaces every single flag in the game with the Pride flag.
Yeah, and they didn't get banned. It's fucking...
And that's fine.
Yeah. But replacing a flag with the nation's flag of the country that it's set in, it's like what? I don't see the issue. Like, personally, there is no issue there at all.
It was just a load of people on Twitter got upset, even though they're never going to see that because they're not going to play that version of the game.
Yeah, that is correct. So I think it's overkill. I think it's censorship gone mad, world gone mad.
It wasn't even really a mod, was it? It was just like changing the game to another region's version, where obviously
pretty much
stuff isn't accepted.
Yeah. So I mean, I just think that it just got blown completely out of proportion, and it's just a sad. Well, it's indicative of the sad state that the West is in at the moment regarding these issues. Censorship is going one way, and I just think it's wrong. But yeah, enough said on that. Yeah, PC mods have been around since PCs have been out, and I have seen and played some fucking mental mods. Yeah. Anyway, last bit of news that I have is that Death Stranding is coming to PC Game Pass on the 23rd of this month. So basically the day this podcast comes out, you will be playing Death Stranding on your PC as part of your Game Pass subscription, which is pretty... I don't know, I was pretty surprised by this one. Because Death Stranding didn't Sony publish it?
Yeah, they help fund it. It's not actually it's not under obviously the sort of like PlayStation Studios banner.
Yeah. Because obviously it's on Steam.
Kojima's doing something for Xbox, isn't he, as well?
I think they probably would have asked him, but I can see Kojima being someone who's like, no, I just want to work and make games wherever I want to do it. I don't want to be constrained.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just doesn't seem like that kind of creator.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's good news. Obviously, it's got Chivos as well for those people that like to farm their achievements.
It's an interesting game. It is an interesting, unique game.
I mean, I've played it on PC. I actually own it on Steam. I played it for about 8 hours or so. Then I just kind of fell off it. But this is going to give me a good excuse to maybe try it again in the near future, I think.
It is the director's cut as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the latest version. So I don't know what they added into that version, but
quite a bit.
Nice. That's good to hear. That is really good to hear. So I am looking forward to that. Any other news from you guys? Because that is literally all the news I have.
Yeah, I've got one.
My head.
Got one. Kenna Bridges of Spirits is getting like a game of the year for a year, because it's been out a year in September. It's because it's coming out, but it's also coming out on Steam because it was like an Epic exclusive for 12 months and PS4. But I think it said, but that hasn't been announced for Xbox yet or at all, So people were like, so that's the year exclusive up. So. Normally when this sort of thing happens, they all bring the trailers out at the same time.
Yeah.
They haven't announced anything for Xbox, so maybe it's not coming out for Xbox.
Perhaps Sony have paid for more exclusivity on it. It would be surprising.
You've just reminded me of one thing.
Yeah.
It's Gamescom this week.
Is it?
Yes, it is. There's Microsoft, I think, are having a show. No, not Microsoft. Jeff Keighley, just like
yeah.
He's having a show on Tuesday night. I think Tuesday.
Maybe they'll announce it there. Maybe, I don't know.
Like opening night or whatever it is.
What'd you say next? Sorry.
I said it'd be nice to play it on Xbox. So there's some games come out on PS5 just lately, or even though they're PS4 and PS5 games, it's like I know they run better on the PS5. So I was like, I don't want to buy a PS5. Like Stray and and there's like two and Spider-Man, Miles Morales. I know that's not going to come on Xbox, but maybe it will one day. I don't know, but just don't want to buy PS5 for like 2 games.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I really enjoy my PS5, even though I don't play a hell of a lot at the moment. Just busy, but it's got some good value with the PS Plus Deluxe, or what the fuck it's called. So I
think a lot of people have done that where they had so much PS Plus left.
Yeah.
Then if you go in there, you can say, if you want to upgrade to PS Plus for the remainder, PS Premium or whatever it's called, the remainder of how long you've got left, they tell you how much they'll work it out for you. Because I know a few people have paid like 22 quid and they've got like 10 months of it. So
me and Peebs are sharing it with PlayStation sharing. So it's £100 a year. So we just paid 50 quid each, which is the price of normal PS Plus anyway. So that's a good way of doing it if you've got a friend. Friends.
I'm still a bit gutted that some of the games that are on that, the PS1 games and stuff like Director's Cut, even though I own that, I still can't play it like in the library. But
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, because like Xbox, they've always been, if you've got it version on anything, you could just play it even if you haven't got, like if I buy a game on Game Pass, like Dead by Daylight, because I didn't know it was on there, and if that comes off Game Pass, I've bought it, I can still play it. I don't, that seems like they would take it away from you.
Usually when games do come off Game Pass, they offer you that game at a slightly reduced rate, if I recall.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Straight if they're on Game Pass. Everything if you've got it. It's never brilliant, but sometimes obviously the deals are better than they are. But just a bit, it's just like PlayStation could do that if they wanted to. They could easily put the PS1 classic games that are on there. They just let you play them, but they just don't want to.
Well, there's quite a lot of games coming off Game Pass at the end of this month as well.
There's a few more going on as well.
Yeah.
I can't remember. There's a lot of indie games as well.
Well, what's coming off is I can do a very quick rundown. Elite Dangerous, Hades, Myst, NBA 2K22, Signs of the Sojourner. Oh, fucking, let's spell that. Spiritfarer, 12 Minutes, 2 Point Hospital, What Remains of Edith Finch, and World War Z. So there's quite a lot of big games coming off the subscription in just over a week. So, and I know there's quite a lot of new stuff coming on, but it's just something to remind people of that Game Pass games do not stay on the service forever.
Unless they're first-party studio games.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping to hear some more news of like Atomic Heart and stuff like that during Gamescom, because that did have like a release date trailer or release window trailer that was like early in the year. I think it was, and it did say sort of like it was coming this year, but I don't know. There's a few more and more games seem to kind of keep getting pushed back a bit.
Yeah.
Everything seems to be kind of making a lot of space for God of War Ragnarok.
And can you blame them?
No, not really, but you could still release a really big game like a week before or a week after. It's that time of year.
Yeah.
Like a week before is probably the better bet, because a week after people will probably still be playing God of War.
Yeah. Cool. Is there any other news before we go on to the 2 questions? No,
not I can think of.
Okay, so actually, I'm reusing a question from last week because I did say I would need some time to ponder it. And obviously, you guys haven't listened to it, so it should be quite funny to hear if you've got any answers to this. So, St. Adams asked a question last week, and he said, if you had to come up with an idea for a new video game, what would it be, and what features would you include? Just putting you on the spot here.
A new video game.
See, I struggled with this last week.
One feature I've always wanted to include in games is an overpower feature.
How do you mean?
Basically, you know the type. You're playing a game and an annoying enemy will come up and start fucking annoying you while you're trying to get something done. And you literally want to just obliterate them. Absolutely, viscerally obliterate them. I would have some sort of system like that in the game.
Yeah.
Like a limit break from Final Fantasy.
Kind of. Something you store up and maybe use once an hour or something in games. So if something really annoys you, it's just like, fuck off. Obviously not used against bosses and things like that, just sort of like regular enemies and such. But you always get like that 1 or 2 enemies that do that.
What type of game though, Dan? Would it be an RPG or an MMO? Or a fighter,
it would probably be open world. I'd like it, obviously, to be as ambitious as possible, as in like an open world, and you can go in every building, in every room.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Where you don't literally just get caught on a fucking twig and your character can step over a wall shin high, or actually climb up rocks that 6-year-old kids could climb.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, so like an expansive open world, which is super realistic, and it's not, buildings and stuff aren't just a cut and paste, and you can actually go in every single room.
Make exploration part of the enjoyment of the game.
Yeah.
Like, you want to go in everywhere. You want to look for places. You want to see what there can be. I mean, that's the annoying thing with like the Division. Like, you look at how vertical New York is.
Yeah.
And you're confined to like literally the streets and like maybe about 8 or 9 areas that you can just go into.
Yeah,
a little
and then
bit.
most
Like one of the,
buildings, they're locked up, aren't they?
I mean, one of the best places in that for me was the shopping centre, because at least you could actually go in the shopping centre and go up the different floors and go in and out of the different shops and stuff. A majority of the time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's
Like,
actually
there's
quite a good
never
answer.
really been one where I can think of where you're like literally just like say fighting through like blocks of flats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Raid style.
Nice, mate. What about you, Nick? Any ideas?
Completely new type of game, or just a better
Just
version?
whatever. You know, it's up to you, mate. It's your imagination.
I'd like to make some like sort of JRPGs, but with just like really good but shorter stories rather than 100-hour ones where you just read through hundreds and hundreds of texts and then you forget most of it. Oh, like get people who did like Last of Us, those type of people who writes like 5 to 10 hour games, and get them to make an RPG, but just 10 hours or something, or 5, or even 5 hours, but just have a really good story, but somehow have it so you can replay it in New Game Plus. It'd be like the same game but slightly different, and the more times you play, whatever happens, if you see what I mean. That'd be something nice, because
things change.
Yeah, well, it's because I've looked up, because that was it. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is out.
Yeah,
I still haven't played 1 or 2 yet on the Switch, so I'm like,
oh, you don't need to though. You don't. They don't carry on from each other.
I know, but then I'll buy Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and I won't play that either. So it's just, I look at them and they're like, oh, they're 100-hour epics.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, just really.
I've actually played 1 and 2.
For 100 hours.
I've played 1 and 2, and I haven't finished either of them because they are so fucking long. Yeah. So I know what you mean.
Some of the games on PS2 I really enjoyed. They were just going on forever, and I was like, can't be asked anymore. And usually something else came out, whether it be a GTA or something. I think there was like one of the Star Ocean games on PS2.
Oh yeah, was it Last
And that
Coast,
was just
maybe?
going on something. It's got a blue case. Well, all PS2 games have got a blue case. It was last something, yeah. But and then was it Dark Cloud as well? Was it Dark Cloud 1 or 2 was on? Yes, I think they both were. And that's the same thing. They just go on forever and ever, which I enjoy, but it's just repetitive, like walking around maps and like, you know, they're foggy and they just unlock them and stuff like that. That sort of stuff balls the crap out of me. But
well, that's the thing, right? I mean, when I was younger, I could easily play a 100-hour JRPG, no problem. But now I'm older, I just don't have the time, and it's just so frustrating because it's like my favourite type of video game, and I just do not have the time to finish them. Like, I'm playing Edge of Eternity at the moment. I haven't played it for a week. I want to get back onto that, and Final Fantasy VI is one of the Final Fantasies I've always wanted to finish, and I've never had the time to finish it, and it's just really frustrating. 6? Never finished 6. I know.
That's good though.
I know.
I only finished it last year, didn't I? So
I will get to it one day. I did actually buy it in 2000, and I still haven't finished it 22 years later. So
I was only 21 years because I bought it because it came out on PS1, but it had the demo for Final Fantasy X, didn't it?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I bought it. Yeah,
so I was like, I'll play the demo, and then I'll play that one day. I didn't realise it'd be over 20 years later, but yeah, that's what I'd really like, because everyone says like The Last of Us. Oh, it's got a fantastic story for a video game. I just love someone to just make something so good that it goes past just a video game and it gets people wanting to play it because it's such a good, story or whatever it is. Kind of like, not like exactly, but like when grandparents were buying a Wii to play bowling and golf and stuff like that. A game that just pushes out to make everyone else either want to buy it and play it or watch it on my Twitch channel.
Yeah, fair enough.
Watch
it
somewhere. Because
yeah.
Is there any games that stories are just that good?
Final Fantasy VII.
Really, mate? Yeah. It's of it. There's a lot. there's a lot of crap in between, and you know that.
Final
There's
Fantasy 14's got like an absolutely amazing story so far.
It does,
it's
mate.
been told
Yeah.
over about 10 years and 40 DLC expansions.
Yeah, but that's good though, because you don't have to play it hardcore.
Yeah, but no one's gonna. That's what I'm saying. That's why I want it in a shorter amount of time, because no one's gonna play 100 hours to get a decent story. Because
Why not just call something like Book of Legends, and you just play through these stories of legendary acts by people in history? Like, could be completely fabricated. Like, you could be set in a fantasy world, and at the start you sit down and like someone's telling you a story, and you choose which story you want to listen to and play.
Yeah, that sounds quite good. Nice. Well, do you want to move on to the last question? As I really
Yes.
do want to go to bed soon. I'm pretty tired. I've had a busy day. What's my tag asks, what's more likely, Halo Infinite eventually gets finished and is amazing, or the next Halo after Infinite is complete on launch and is amazing? Oh, can I say that neither's going to happen?
got a funny feeling.
I think they'll
Halo's
make
done.
sure. I think they'll make sure if they do another Halo that they'll make it launch with co-op, because I think that was a big hiccup for a lot of people with the launch of the single player.
Yeah. What were you,
Is
what
it
were you
still in the
saying?
game yet?
No, there's no co-op
Co-op.
still.
Oh right, there's no co-op still. Oh wow.
No, and it was meant to be out by now, and it's been delayed over and over again.
The game got delayed a year as well, so it's like.
I don't know what 343 are doing.
Just like I said to you, game studios in general, and that's not having a go at them. I just think some of they've been either taking the piss and or being mismanaged.
Yeah.
I think I think it's more mismanaged. I think there's tug of wars going on behind what the devs want to what the publisher wants.
But
I
think
remember
also
a lot of the devs who did Cyberpunk actually came out on social media and said, we do not want this game coming out next week, and apparently a few of them got like told off and had to delete their social media accounts. I think some of them got like really badly told off, but it's probably the middle management that's fucking up in it, not the wigs. But if they say they're going to take 3 years to make a game, it's going to be 3 years. Don't say it's coming out in a year and then piss around for another 2 years. But
I don't know. I mean, in the case of Halo, I think since Bungie left Microsoft, left them with Halo, it just hasn't been the same. Like, I don't think 343 have actually put out a decent Halo game at all. And it's just sad. It's just sad to see, Xbox's Bastion, its #1 gaming franchise, the reason why people buy the fucking consoles. The game's just hit the shitter. It really, really has. It's sad because it's one of my favourite games of all time. The original Halos, the multiplayer. I've got some of the best multiplayer fun I've ever had in my life is on Halo 2, Halo 3, It's just sad. Sad times.
We're getting a new Gears of War. When's that coming out?
I think the franchise is dead, mate.
Oh dear.
The last one was shit.
It was actually. That was broken on launch as well. A lot of there's loads of glitches and bugs and stuff. But
well, they've actually released a couple of shit Gears games, haven't they? Because they released that other one, didn't they? Gears Judgment, I think it was called, and that was fucking awful.
That was a prequel.
Judgment too.
It was a prequel, but they changed the buttons for some reason, and then for Gears 4 they changed them back.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So they changed them to copy Call of Duty. So instead of pressing like up and down on the D-pad to change weapons, you had to press like Y to swap them, like in Call of Duty. I was like, yeah, it was weird because Gears 4 was like AD Phoenix and like him and his new crew's sort of story. And in 5, they just completely abandoned him and went with the woman. I'm like, don't mind that, but why did you spend a whole game talking about this dude?
I
To
thought they
just
were going to
completely
do.
ignore him.
I thought they were going to do 3 games each with one of the new characters, but
It's the
apparently they can't
to
because what is
Jace
after the
next, then at the
events of the
Blackfellow
second.
next.
Yeah. Well, didn't he die? Spoilers in the 5.
I can't remember. Proves 5 was pretty crap. The only thing I remember with 5, which was 5 or was it 4? I think it was 4. Where it was 4. Sorry, where they thought they killed Marcus Phoenix off when he was in the pod, and you're like, oh, he's dead, and all of a sudden he went and just like spat out the water, and it was just really hilarious. Come back to life, and I'm like, oh, well, fair enough. Obviously, you're not going to kill off like the main character. Probably should have done, but yeah, they just I don't know it. But they made it sort of open world, but not open world.
Yeah.
In between the sections where you were going to, there was just nothing there. It was just sand or snow, and you're like, what's the point? You've just slowed up me getting from action to action. And Gears always had really good pacing like that, didn't it?
Yeah.
You could almost be like, all right, the music's died down. Find loads of bullets, few cold tags. Oh, I'm going over to a big area. Oh, it's going to happen now. Something's going to happen. That's how it was. But they just messed with the whole formula, trying to be sort of
again,
open world.
it's
but not.
different teams working on the games that worked on the originals.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is now.
It's the Coalition doing them now, isn't it? Which was headed up by
was Epic, wasn't it?
Rod Ferguson, who's now gone to Blizzard.
What was Cliff Blazinski
he's working
in
on. He's left gaming now completely, isn't he? At the moment, I think he's doing.
He did the original
stuff.
ones, didn't he? Did the original
he worked on the original with Rod Ferguson. Yeah.
And that was Epic, wasn't it? Like working for Microsoft. And then they left and they bought the IP and got this Coalition thing. Yeah, it turns out however good the IP is, if you haven't got the original team working on it, it just doesn't work, does it?
Yeah, I think with the case of Bungie, though, I think they'd made so many Halo games, they were just a bit like, we want to do something different.
Destiny, which is basically the same game.
I don't think Destiny's on par with the old Halos at all. I don't think it's as good at all.
But everything else is just a bit meh.
Yeah. They took all the gamers for suckers, mate, with their 50 quid fucking DLCs that have a 4-hour story. Absolutely bullshit. So, anyway, on that happy note, have we got anything else? Because it's my bedtime. Guessing no. Okay, please remember, everyone who's listening, there is no podcast for the next 2 weeks. I'll repeat, 2 weeks podcast holiday. All right? Hope you don't miss us too much. I'm sure you're lounging in the sun and sipping a Mai Tai or whatever you do anyway. Apparently we're going to have another heatwave in the UK this coming week, so enjoy that. I know Darren will be loving it. But yeah, well-deserved break, I think, for all the crew. Just going to have a little bit of a chill time and stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, from me, Mark Webb, Gamertag, Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby360G.
Nick Fights on the Twitters and the Twitch.
Yeah, Sensei Switch.
So thank you very much. We will see you in 2 weeks. So the next recording will be on the 11th of September. Oh, wow. So if you listen live on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Webby360G, we'll see you then. If not, well, you'll be listening to the show on the 6th of September. Awesome. So we'll catch you then. So from all of us here, it's been emotional. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Goodbye.